Hello, you're tuning into VTV News at 6 p.m. local time here in Hanoi. I'm Thuy Dung bringing you the latest headlines. A master plan for seaport facility development is being discussed. We'll learn more about that in the news bulletin. Later on, we'll go along with the footsteps of soldiers who are helping people in remote areas to escape poverty. We'll begin now with news on the updates with the National Assembly. Now, the National Assembly passed a law on the issue of secondary legislation documents today. The new law will allow people's committees and councils at district and communal levels to continue to release secondary legislation documents. However, it will clearly define jurisdictional limitations, formats, and procedures for this process. This is in a bid to increase transparency and improve effectiveness of these secondary legislation documents. The National Assembly also discussed matters regarding maritime laws. Now, in today's afternoon session, the National Assembly have discussed a new draft of the amended Vietnam Maritime Code. The code consists of laws pertaining to the country's maritime economy, as well as national sovereignty and security issues. What then are the expectations for the new draft code? We'll find out more in the following report.
Tân Cảng Hiệp Phước Port in Ho Chi Minh City welcomed the first ships in May. While the funds for the port came partly from local funds, support policies made it possible for private investors to pitch in. Enterprises funded the constructions of 5,000 meters of docks, 300 hectares in container yards, as well as a deep water dock for the Hiệp Phước industrial zone.
The success of Tân Cảng Hiệp Phước Port has greatly facilitated the businesses within our industrial zone, significantly reducing transportation costs.
Opening the doors to such private investment in maritime projects is one of the main points in the amended Vietnam Maritime Code. While experts applaud the initiative, many say the new draft code needs to strictly regulate the participation of the private sector in each project to ensure fair competition.
Investment and development of services in a port are basically steps towards monopoly. Therefore, there needs to be policies to ensure economic security if we are to go through with this.
Also, as part of the draft amendments to the code, the Ministry of Transport is proposing the development of port authorities, a model applied in many countries.
A port authority will be a governmental body or a representative of the government in managing import and export, defense, customs, and medical-related issues in port areas.
With the possible introductions of new amendments to the Vietnam Maritime Code, the Ministry of Transportation has high hopes for Vietnam's maritime economy, setting the target of the sector surpassing the country's oil industry in terms of value by 2021.
Now that we're on the subject of maritime economy, Vietnam currently has some 55 seaports with around 219 terminals. However, without a master plan for development, these seaports continue to operate inefficiently, in the opinion of many experts. For example, the Cái Mép Thị Vải, the largest deep-water seaport complex here in Vietnam, is currently only operating at 20% of its total capacity. We'll learn more about this issue in the next report.
Located in the central region, Cái Mép Thị Vải International Port is the largest and most modern deep-water transshipment seaport. However, despite its geographical advantage, the port's managers believe it will need some serious changes in order to successfully operate and attract large-scale containers from international port operators.
There should be one general operator to connect the whole area of Cái Mép Thị Vải and be in charge of all the terminals in this 1.8 kilometer stretch of coastline. In that way, Cái Mép Thị Vải can become a large-scale transshipment point in the region.
Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng recently underlined the importance of increasing the competitiveness of Vietnam's seaports, especially by making good use of the Cái Mép Thị Vải deepwater seaport and increasing connectivity among other transhipment points in the central and southern provinces. A master plan will improve efficiency, cut costs, and will promote the development of port and logistics services.
It is vital now to develop a master plan for development of seaports in the area, including management and financial assistance to increase connectivity among transshipment points.
According to experts, thanks to its capacity, geographical location, and distances to major regional transport routes, the Cái Mép Thị Vải port can become an important international transshipment port. To successfully build a large-scale gateway seaport, there should be more cooperation between governmental authorities, management agencies, and import-export enterprises.
The Ministry of Construction has requested several localities reassess their social housing projects and submit the reports by the end of this month. Now, the reassessment process will collect statistics and updates on the progress of social housing, including recently converted commercial housing developments. The Ministry of Construction wants to use the audit the best of use of housing for low-income earners, students, and workers in industrial zones. The process will go some way to pinpointing existing issues that are currently obstructing progress on social housing policies. The move by the ministry will hopefully go some way to tailoring the policies to provide better access to social housing. The Vietnamese Customs Department will take over fee collection duties in several areas related to import and export. Now, these include quality control, vehicle inspections, as well as visas. This move is expected to save time and efforts of traveling to multiple agencies for fee submissions. Now, the creation of a single gate payment system will see the collection of over 3,300 documents from some 1,500 businesses. Transport, industry and trade, health, agriculture and finance have joined this integrated system, with the project now operational again across the 5 seaports in Vietnam.
Exotic Vietnam is an intriguing blend of many charms. This land is where all manner of stunning landscapes await like a visual feast, rivaled only by the beauty of its people and their abundantly rich tradition and culture. Here is where you can relive the past in richest color or live it up in the bright lights of the big city. With so much more to offer, Vietnam is simply unforgettable.
Welcome back to VTV News. The Vietnam Journalists Association celebrated the 90th Vietnam Revolutionary Press Day last night on June 21st with an award ceremony for the winners of the 9th National Press Contest. Now, State President Trương Tấn Sang also attended this event to congratulate Vietnamese journalists on their achievements. President Sang also asked the Vietnamese Revolutionary Press to continue building on this success. Awards were also given in television, radio, print, and online media. This year's winners claimed 9A and 26B awards for their works on sovereignty protection and social development. Now, people in remote areas, especially ethnic people, used to have many difficulties in improving their earnings. However, in recent years, people in the remote areas of Hướng Hóa district in Quảng Trị province have been able to upgrade their living standards thanks to the soldiers based there. We'll find out more in the following report.
These rice fields in Hướng Hóa are the result of cooperative efforts between soldiers and local people in recent years. They have turned drought-prone land into a fertile farming area.
I used to plant rice on a terraced field, but it was exhausting and not productive. Thanks to the soldiers, they have assisted us with new cultivation technologies. I now know how to use fertilizer to improve quality and productivity.
Our living standards have been significantly improved. The soldiers help us with cultivation and harvest techniques. The rice fields have produced stable incomes for us. After a few years working together, the soldiers have provided significant support to encourage local people to grow rice in this remote area. People are happier as they are now able to grow high productivity rice.
In order to successfully work with the local people, we made friends with them to get to know about their lives. It is important that we develop mutual trust before we cooperate.
Since 2009, the soldiers have helped local people to use 5 hectares of land, distributing it to 21 households for rice cultivation. Many families have been lifted out of poverty and earned better incomes over the years.
Households in 3 border districts of Kỳ Sơn, Tương Dương, and Quý Châu in Nghệ An province in the central region of Vietnam are expected to connect to the national power grid this year. Now, a new power supply project for rural areas in Nghệ An has been launched by the Northern Power Corporation for the period from 2014 to 2016. The project will provide electricity for 233 hamlets at a cost of around $35.7 million. Funding for this project will be disbursed from the state budget, Official Development Aid or ODA, and Vietnam Electricity. In the following now, let's take a look at your updated weather forecasts. And that has also wrapped up our edition of VTV News for today. Do log on to vtv4.vn or our YouTube channel at VTV4Go to rewatch any of the bulletins. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you more next time here on VTV News. Goodbye for now.